Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about how to use a TNC with Xastir, the APRS application. So we'll start off by downloading a piece of software that will communicate with the TNC, and this is on a Linux system. So we're going to type sudo apt install, and the name of the application is putty. So this command here, sudo, gives us user privileges at a higher level to be able to install something. Apt is the name of the program that allows you to install things. Install is the command that we're giving as opposed to remove. And putty is the name of the application. Now I already have putty on my system, so I'll let you hit enter on that. Click yes to confirm if it asks, put your password in if it asks, etc. So next we're going to use putty itself, and putty is a communication application, and what we want to do is create a serial connection with the TNC. So I'm going to turn on my TNC here, and my TNC that I have is a Cantronics Cam XL. This has connections on the back. One of them goes to a wire that has a USB connection, which is currently plugged into the computer, and the other one has a wire with a little 6-pin DIN plug that goes into the back of my radio. That particular wire, you will have a different connector on the end depending on what kind of radio you want or are using. So the first thing we want to do is click on serial here. This is a serial connection, and we need to change this to say TTY USB. That's for me. When I plugged it in, that's the port, if you like, that it connected to, and that's where the USB connection is connecting to the system. And we can then click open. Now, one thing I'll mention, with putty, it doesn't actually give you the option here unless you go to the bottom of this menu. This is also a serial connection, and it gives you the configuration here of setting it up. So it's 9600 baud. That's the speed of the connection between the computer and the TNC, and I believe they're all 9600 baud as far as I know. The next thing is the data bits. Now this might be different depending on your type of TNC. If you look in the manual, it'll tell you something to the effect of the baud rate, the data bits, and the stop bits, and the parity. So mine for a Cantronics is 8, 1 and none. Yours might be 7, 2 and even or odd, you know. So just match this up to what your owner's manual says for your specific type of TNC. As far as I know, all Cantronics TNCs are this particular setup though. Okay, so if we click open, this will start talking to the TNC. Now with Cantronics, and others may be the same, what it does is it cycles through the baud rates, because the TNC doesn't know what baud rate your computer wants to see and vice versa. So it cycles through them, and eventually you'll get some text in English like that, and what you do is you wait for that to come up with your finger on the shift key, and as soon as you see the right text at the right description, you press number 8, which is the asterisk symbol, and what that does is it'll tell the TNC that you're at the correct baud rate. Okay, so I'll wait for this to come round again, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and press number 8, or alternatively, if your keyboard has the function, just press the asterisk key if you have a separate asterisk key as well. So let me just restart this so that I can catch it early. Okay, so I've pressed the star at the right time. It's now asking for my call sign, so just put in your own call sign. It does require this even if you're doing it in KISS mode. For some reason it asked twice there. I believe the TNC, in order to work, does need a call sign no matter what. We then get the initial power on spiel, which gives you a bit of information about the system, and it lands you on the command prompt. So from here there's actually two different ways we can work with this TNC. The first way is we can put it in KISS mode straight away and then just treat it like a dumb TNC, a KISS mode TNC, and all that does is takes any input and gives you an output, and it doesn't have any interaction. I think that's a very simplified version, but that's what it does. If we want to do that, we type int, this is for Cantronics again, int KISS, hit enter, and then we type reset, enter, and that will actually put it in KISS mode. From there we go into Xastir, tell it's in KISS mode, and it will just run through from there. The second way of doing it is what I'm going to show you now. So we leave it as it is in this mode. We start up Xastir, and in Xastir there's actually a setting we can do that tells it how to control the TNC, and Xastir will actually command the TNC on and off, etc. as we go along. And this is the second way of doing it. Some people prefer one over the other, but I don't know if there's a particular benefit to one over the other. So it's found us here in the system. We're going to go to interface, control here, and for some reason it's very faint, but we've got an internet server here, and we've actually got the TNC information here. Okay, so TNC port, I'll just read this out to you. For some reason the writing's turned white. I've got in here /dev/TTY USB 0. Please note, with Linux systems they are case sensitive, so USB lowercase is not the same as USB uppercase, so please make sure you get it right. It's on mine /DEV lowercase /TTY lowercase, all that, and then USB is capital and then the number 0. You might have USB 1 or whatever when you connect yours. You'll have to try it out and see which one works. In the converse command it has a K in there, and that's because with Cantronics if you type a K on the command line it goes into the converse mode, where it's sending out information into the air rather than taking in your commands as an actual command to the unit itself. So this K switches it between command mode and conversing mode, which is passing the data through to the air or through to the radio. That might be different on your particular TNC. You do need to check on that. If you've got a Cantronics though, this should all be correct for you. The port settings here, again 9600 baud, and the port style, again we mentioned it was 8 bits, no parity and 1 bit. Again it could be 7 even and 1 and so on, so do check which one's correct for your TNC. iGate options allow RF to the internet and internet to RF traffic, so we're getting it both ways. And at the bottom here where it says TNC setup file name and shut down file name, it comes with a standard default description in there. However, there is a file in the configuration of Xastir which shows you the different options for different TNCs. You want to find the one that's correct for your TNC by name. If there's not the exact name, then try and find the closest one. There's probably about 10 or 15 options in there, and generally you'll be able to find one that, whether it's exactly the same or not quite, the commands will be the same and therefore it will work for you. So you can try it with the standard setup here. If not, do delete out that line and type in the correct one from your settings file in the computer itself in Xastir, and I'll show you that file with its path shortly. Okay, so next we click enter, and that's put the line in there for the controls. And so now we're up and running. I can see that the radio is receiving, the TNC's lights are flickering, showing that it's seeing all that, and we'll have stations appearing on the map. It's all very straightforward. As long as you follow those steps, you won't have any problems. So the next thing to mention is with Xastir, similar to YAAC as well, you have the option of sending messages. The messages tab's just here, and we can send messages to a particular station by typing it in here, and the message just here as well. So we could type in a call sign of M0SYS-4 and the message hello, click send now, and that will actually send the message to that other station. And because this is packet based, you'll actually receive a reply as a confirmation of its receipt. So this is a very, very reliable system. You get definite acknowledgement to say that it's been received, and so you can rely on this communication. Provided they're in range, their system should send an acknowledgement so you know they've definitely received it. So to demonstrate this, I do have a handheld radio which is APRS enabled. So I'm going to try and send a message from the handheld to the radio that the computer's connected to, and see if we get that coming through. So I've now sent the message, and almost instantly we've received a dialog box with the message. We can then reply to the message by typing straight in hello back. When I hit OK, I can hear the fan in the radio start up. I see all the lights blink to say that it's transmitted, and on the handheld radio I can see that we've received the message. So it's very simple to go back and forth here. Again, I'll send another message. Okay, you just heard a beep there, which is an acknowledgement, and the handheld's received an acknowledgement again from the PC radio. So this can go back and forth all day long, and you will actually, I'm actually inside at the moment, so the GPS for the handheld's not showing up, but you will see the handheld show up on the map as well, provided it's got a location to actually report. Okay, so that's Xastir with a TNC. Very quick and easy setup, and once you've got it set up and saved, you never have to mess with it again. So I highly recommend you have a go with this. TNCs, while they used to be expensive, a couple of £100, they can be picked up very inexpensively at rallies, on eBay, at swap meets. I'm sure people in the club already have them and never use them, so if you can get your hands on one, it's a very useful thing to have. You can also use it for a normal packet radio as well, which will be a video we'll be doing in the near future. So thanks very much for that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe. If you want to tick the bell icon next to the subscribe button, that will actually give you notifications as new videos are posted for us. Thanks very much.